Hello guys, today we are going to solve May 2022 paper 2 time zone 2. Sorry for my voice today, I'm still sick, but I will try my best, okay? So let's start with the first question. Okay, this graph is cumulative frequency graph. Mackenzie conducted an experiment on the reaction times of teenagers. The results of the experiment are displayed in the following cumulative frequency graph. Okay, these are reaction times. These are frequencies. Cumulative frequencies. Use your graph to estimate the median reaction time. Okay, how do we find the median in this kind of examples? So we found the maximum value, which is 40 in this case, right? 40. The minimum 0, and we find the middle of that one, 0 plus 40 over 2, which is 20, midpoint of them, right? But this is not our answer. Answer is corresponding x value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 0 0.2, let's say 0 0.02. Okay, because this is 0 0.5. So this thing should be 0 0.58, something like that, right? Because each thing is 0 0.02, 2%, right? Okay, so median reaction time is 0 0.58. Interquartile range of the reaction time. So we need to find what is the interquartile range. Q3 minus Q1. So we need to find upper quartile and lower quartile. Let's find the upper quartile. Upper quartile is you need to find the midpoint of those two, right? This and this, which is 20, 40, 30 is the midpoint. The corresponding value of this one will be your upper quartile. So this should be 0 0.7 exactly, right? 0 0.7. Okay, let's find Q1 with different color. Q1 is the midpoint of those two, right? So, which is 10, but corresponding x value, right? So it will be, okay, this is 0 0.2, should be 0 0.42, right? Because each thing is 0 0.02. 0 0.42. And the answer of them should be 0 0.28 seconds. Because times are given in seconds, right? Okay, find part B. Find the estimated number of teenagers who have reaction time greater than 4 seconds. Greater than 4 seconds, 0 0.4 seconds, I mean. 0 0.4 is here. Let me clean the other parts. Okay, how many people we have in total? We have 40 people, right? The maximum goes to 40. 0 0.4 is here. Let's look at the corresponding value of it, which is this part, and this is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So it's going to be 9. So 9 people have less than 0 0.4, right? 9 people. And this group is less, right? 9 people is less. And the other group is more than, right? This group is more than 0 0.4. So if we have total 40 people and 9 of them is less than 0 0.4, what is more than 0 0.4? Greater than 0 0.4? 40 minus, total minus 9, which is 31 people. Right? This is how you find it. Okay. Let me clean and let's move on with part C. Determine the 90 percentile of the reaction times of the cumulative frequency graph. How do we do that? First of all, we need to look at the 40 and 90 percentile of 90% of 40. How do we find 90% of 40? Times 90 over 100. These cancel each other. 36. So this is the 90% of 40. We need to find this value in the cumulative frequency, and we need to look at the corresponding x value. Right? So 36 is here. If you look at the corresponding value, you need to be careful here. Okay, I'm going correct, right? So 0.8 seconds. Is our answer for the part C, right? That's how do you do it, guys? Okay. Mackenzie created a cumulative frequency graph using the following group. Okay, so we need to create a table, right? So from 0 to 0.2, 3 people. Where is 0.2? 0.2 is here. As you see, there are 1, 2, 3 people here, right? Since this is cumulative frequency graph, and it goes by adding, right? It goes, for example, so let's look at 0.4. How many people there from less than 0.4, right? How many people less than 0.4? Let's look at 0.4 again. So 9 people less than 0.4. So total 9 people less than 0.4. And 3 of them is between 0.0 and 0.2. So what is left here? 6, right? Cumulative frequency graph always adds up, right? So if for example, 0.6 seconds gives you, in the graph, 0.6 seconds corresponding y value gives you less than 0.6. Okay? So 0.8 gives you less than this one. Okay? So let's look at, so we know this one, we know this. So let's look at 1.0. How many people less than 1.0? I think it's total, right? 40 people. But let's make sure. 1.0 is 1.0 is here. And it goes to maximum frequency, which is 40, right? So total we have 40 people. So 3 is here, 6 is here, 9, 22, 36, and we have 4 people here up to 40, right? So A is 9, A is 6, B equals to 4. Write down the model class from the table. Model class, guys, remember that the group with the highest frequency. Okay? So which group has the highest frequency here? Let me look at it. 14. So this group is our model group, right? So how can I write? 0.6. I just copied this one. Here, right? Okay, this is our model group. Let's look at F. Use your graphic display calculator to find the estimate mean of reaction times. So we're going to use this table to find the mean. But how we can find mean, because these are range? Are we going to add this range to the calculator? No, right? What we need to do, we need to find the mid-interval values, which is the midpoints of these two, right? How we can find it? Find them. This plus this divided by 2. which is the midpoint of this one, 0.1. Let me write it here, 0.1. The mid value of this one is 0.3. Mid value of this one is 0.5, 0.7, 0.9. So we're gonna add this one and these frequencies to our graph, our calculator, and we're gonna find it. Okay, how we can do that? Let's bring our calculator and let's calculate it. Okay, first of all, guys, we need to go to where? Sheets. We need to go to sheets, right? Which is this one. Let's write here x, which is our x values, or t, you can just write t, times, and just write here frequency. It's frequency, right? So I'm gonna write my mid interval values, which is these ones, right? These ones. So 0.1, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, 0.9. And the other thing, I need to add the frequency here. So if I look at my frequency here, this group is 3, 6, 13, 14, and 4. So after writing these values, you need to go to here. Don't click it here, just come here and click menu, then statistics, then start calculations. Then we have one variable. We don't have two variables, guys. We have one variable and we have its frequency. So we have only one variable. Please don't confuse with two variables. One variable statistics, number of list 1, x list. So t times frequency list f, our frequency. They look similar. Yeah, tf. And that's okay. So this is our mean, right? This x value is our mean. We can see that, yeah. What is our standard deviation? This is our standard deviation, right? 2.1. So our mean is 0.55. Let's go back to question again. .55 from calculator. Okay, this is part F. Upon completion of the experiment, Mackenzie realized that some values were grouped incorrectly in the frequency table. Okay, some reaction times recorded in the interval 0.2, this interval, should have been recorded in the interval of this one. Okay, so what she did, so instead of here, she recorded here. So there are more values and there are less values here. Should have been recorded in the interval of this one, but instead she recorded here, right? So there are more values here. Suggest how, if at all, the estimated mean and the estimated median reaction times will change if the errors are corrected. Justify your response. Okay. So if we have, let's discuss the mean. If we have more people, if we have less people in the highest range, right? Higher range. Okay, this is higher, right? Higher than the green part. So if we have less people here, when she corrected it, there will be more people here, right? There will be more people between this higher range. So what will, imagine that there are new students coming to your class, like with, for example, bigger students, right? Older students are coming to your class. Okay, so the mean will increase, of course, because we need to put more people to here, more time to highest range, like higher range. Okay, so it will increase, of course, because there will be more people in 0.4 group, which is bigger than 0.2, right? Okay, mean, we discussed mean, median reaction times. What will happen to median? Let's try to see it from here. Okay, so these people, for example, should be here, right? Median, which is what is our median, guys? We found it in the first question. 0.58, and it's gonna be in 20, right? 20. So median is the 20 frequency. So median is 20 frequency, which is somewhere here, right? Median. This is here. Because 9 people here and plus 13, 22. So median should be somewhere here. But if we change these values, median will not change, right? Because they are not affecting the median. Median is in the middle, somewhere here, right? So these values, if you add or subtract values here, change values here, they are not going to affect the median. Median is in the middle value, which is they are not in the middle. These group also not in the middle, right? So median will remain the same. Median will not change. Same, because changes because median is bigger than those intervals, and changes does not change the median. Okay, that's enough for this one. Do we have more question? No. Okay, this was the first question. Okay, let's look at question number 2. Scott purchased a food for his dog in large bags and feeds the dog the same amount of dog food each day. Okay. The amount of dog food left in the bag at the end of each day can be modeled by arithmetic sequence. Okay, this is the question of sequences then. Arithmetic sequence will increase or decrease with this common difference, right? Same account. Okay. On a particular day, Scott opened a new bag of dog food and fed his dog. By the end of the third day, there were 115.5 cups. End of third day. Dog food remaining in the bag, and at the end of the 8th day, there were 108 cups. Find part A. Find the number of cups of the dog food fed to dog per day. Okay. So by the end of third day means third term, right? U3. which is 115.5. By the end of 8th day, you ate, right? Since this arithmetic sequence, you can write any term in terms of the other term. You just need to look at the difference between them, right? How many D? 5D. There are 5D between them, right? So I can write U8 equals to U3 plus 5D, right? So what is U8? 108. U3 115.5 plus 5D. Okay, if you solve this one, you can use numerical solve to solve this one, or you can just find D with your thing. Okay, so I'm gonna use numerical solve quickly. I will show you also numerical solve. You can also remember this thing. Algebra, numerical solve. Okay, so 108 equals to 115.5 plus 5D plus 5D comma D, right? Okay, minus 1.5. So our D equals to minus 1.5, right? Minus negative value, right? Minus 1.5. Okay, this is our common difference. And find fed to the dog per day, which means daily consumption of the dog, right? Daily eating of the daily food of the dog, which means 1.5, right? Cups, for example. So basic, this is common difference, right? D. Okay. Remaining in the bag at the end of first day. At the end of first day means U1, first term, right? So U1. They are asking U1. So let's write the general term rule and we can find U1, right? UN equals to U1 plus N minus 1 times D. This is our general term. What is our D? D is 1.5 minus 1.5. Okay, 1 second. Or this is the general term, but anyway, you can just write U, for example, U3 equals to U1 plus how many D? How many difference between them? 1, 3, 2 difference, so 2D, right? So U3 is what? 115.5 U1 plus 2D, which is D is 1.5, 1 minus 1.5, 2D is 3, right? So minus 3 is gonna be, right? So if you send this minus 3 to the other side, you're gonna add this one, 3, and you cancel out this one. So U1 equals to 118.5. 118.5, right? That's U1. Part B, calculate the number of days that Scott can feed his dog with 1 bag of food. So basically, they're asking when the food is going to finish, right? When. So if the food is finished, if food is done, is finished, there will be 0 cups at the thing, right? And this is gonna be 1 day, UN. But which day it will finish, right? Which day it will finish. So which term, which day will be 0, basically. So let's write our general term. Okay, I'm gonna use this part here again. This part here. So let's write the general term. General term formula in the formula booklet. N minus 1 D. and this gonna be 0, right? Food will be finished. What is the first term? We just found 118.5 plus, we don't know n, but we know this will be, d is minus 1.5, will be 0. So numerical solve, n equals to, how we can do it, let me show you. Go to our calculator and menu, algebra, numerical solve, right? So 118, let me write it here, 118.5 plus n minus 1d, 1, close the brackets, let's go back here, times minus 1.5, right, equals to 0, comma, and so 8. Our n is 80. So 80 days, right? Okay. Let's go back to our question. In 2021, Scott spent this much money. In 2021, Scott expects that amount will spend dog food will increase at the annual rate of this one. So the dog food will increase. So imagine like a finance question, right? Interest. This is our interests. This is our present value, right? Determine the amount of Scott expects to spend dog food in this year. Round answer to the nearest dollar. Okay. How many years between from 2021 to 2025? 4 years, right? So n is 4. What is the initial value? Imagine present value. It is present value. Why minus? Because we always write present value with minus, right? Imagine like this is the rule. Present value always minus because we are investing money. It's minus because of us. We are investing money. Okay. So interest rate annual, right? It will increase. So 6.4%, right? And we're going to find the future value, which is how we can find it, right? Future value. So we need to write these values to our calculator. Okay. So menu, finance solver, 4 years, 6.4, 6.4, present value minus 625, PMT, no, future value, enter. So if we round this one to the nearest dollar, it's going to be $801, right? $801. So the answer for part C, dollars, right? To the nearest dollar. Okay, let's look at part D. Determine the amount of Scott expects. Okay, we did this one. Sorry, D1, DI. Calculate the value of from. This is sigma notation. From 1 to 10. So what is this? So this is the initial value times this times n. So if you go to formula booklet and if you look at the formula for compound interest formula, okay, you can also use this formula for the previous question. Present value, interest rate, Kn, n is the number of years, K is the compounding period per years, but we don't have, this is 1, right? So this is, guys, this is sum, which is the sum of 10 years, right? And each year he will spend this much money, right? So at the beginning, 2021, this to 625. In 2022, increased by this much. In 2023, increased by this much. And this is the sigma notation, which is sum. So we are adding the spend for dog feed each year, right? We are adding how much money spent for each year, right? So this is the total cost of 10 years, which is the answer of, described what represents context. So total amount, DII, total amount spent for dog food in 10 years period, right? Okay, DI, so I just solved the question number II before that. Calculate the value of this one. So this is sum of these values, right? So which means we're gonna use sum means series, right? Series. So we're gonna use S10 because there are 10 terms here. If you can use, so we're gonna use S formula here, S10 formula, which is, if you look at your formula booklet, it should be Sn, sum of geometric terms is this one, right? Okay, but if you can use this symbol, let me show you. Sometimes in test mode you cannot use your calculate some specifications. For example, if you go here, if you click go to calculate and click here, you're going to see there is a sigma notation here, you see. But I'm not sure whether you can use this one on the test mode or not. So that's why I'm going to show you the other method, okay, which is the calculator, which is the geometric sum method. Okay, so let's go to our question again. 1 second. So S10 equals to, I'm going to write the formula here, n over 2u1 n minus 1d. 2u1 plus n minus 1 times d. So let's substitute some values here. I'm going to take this one a bit down. N over 2, n is 10 here, right? N is 10. So 10 over 2, 5. 2 times u1 is 118.5 plus n was 10, so this is 9, and d is minus 1.5, right? Hold on, this is, okay, I made a mistake here, guys. This is for the initial question, right? But we have something, we have a geometric sequence here because this is the geometric sequence formula. So we are going to use geometric sequence sum, not this one, right? Not the arithmetic one. So we're gonna use Sn, but geometric. Because this question is depending on this part, right? Not the initial part. Initial part, arithmetic sequence, but here geometric sequence. So therefore we need to use geometric sequence. This is arithmetic. Geometric sequence sum is here. Let me show you. You see? Okay. Geometric sequence sum. So S10 equals to U1. Let me write the formula. Sn equals to U1 r to the power of n minus 1 divided by r minus 1. R is our interest rate, right? Our increase rate. So U1 is, in this case, the initial money spent on this much, right? R is the ratio, which is increase in percentages, right? What is that, guys? What is that? 100, I mean, 1 plus, what was the increase in percentages, right? 0.6.4 in 100%. So this is our R value, right? Which is 106.4 over 100. And if you divide this by 100, this is our R. If you divide this by 100, you need to 1, 2. So this is our R, 1.064. Okay. Then to the power of n, right? The power of n. N is 10 years. Minus 1 divided by R minus 1, R minus 1, right? So this is, let me show you the full value. This is our thing. Imagine R is increase, but R is not 6.4, right? 6.4% increase, which is, if you increase something by 6.4, you need to multiply it with 106.4 divided by 100. So this is our R value, right? And if you do this formula, you're gonna find your answer should be, let me check it here quickly. We can find it, but equals to 8,390. So this is the answer for part DI. And DII, we did it here, right? Comments on appropriateness of modeling this scenario with a geometric sequence. Okay, this scenario, and I'm talk about the prices, it is valid, it's appropriate when the increase is the same each year. But in real life, we don't experience this one, right? Sometimes inflation rate is 6.4, sometimes 10%, sometimes less than 10%, sometimes less than 1%, right? So what we can say, the model is appropriate when the increase rate of the dog food is the same each year. Okay, so we have a condition here. This is part E, and this is the last question of second question. Okay, let's go to number 3. Okay, number 3, the Voronoi diagram. Okay, Voronoi diagrams. Below shows 4 supermarkets represented by points with coordinates A, B, C, D, and we are given the coordinates D. The vertices X, Y, Z are also shown, okay. All distances measured in kilometers, okay, no problem here. Find the midpoint of BD. Midpoint formula, x1, x2 divided by 2, y1, y2 divided by 2. So let's do it. BD, so 6 plus 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4. 0, 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, 4, 1 is our midpoint. Find So I'm gonna just write for 1 here to save a space. Find the equation of xz. Let me sketch it. Xz, which is this one, right? And we know the midpoint of BD. BD is here, and we know midpoint, this is right, because Voronoi diagrams is perpendicular bisectors. It's all about, so it's this point should be 4, 1, midpoint of BD. Okay, to find equation of a line, we need two things: gradient and a point on the line, right? So we need two things: gradient and a point on the line. We already know the point, which is this blue point, midpoint of BD, 4, 1. How we can find the gradient? First of all, we can find the gradient of BD. Then, by this rule, if two lines are perpendicular, their product of their gradients should be -1, right? So then we can find M2, which is x, y, and z. Okay, so let's find, this is arrow, let's find the gradient of this one, which is y2 minus y1. Let's say M1 here, and M1 and M2. M1 equals to y difference over x difference. So 2 minus 0, x difference 2 minus 6 minus 4. So -1 over 2 is the gradient of this one. Blue line, right? Gradient of the other one should be negative reciprocal. So you need to flip these values, or let me show you the full method. Equals to -1. Multiply both sides by 2. These cancel each other, right? Then divide both sides by -1. These cancel each other. So M2 is -1, cancel each other, and M2 is 2. So gradient of our line, red line, is 2, right? M2 equals to 2. So our gradient is 2. Then if you find those two, you're going to use our formula booklet, which is equation of a line. Y2 minus Y1 equals to M times X2 minus X1, right? And this is given the formula booklet. Okay. Y minus Y1 equals to M times X minus X1. Y is just Y. Y1 and X1 are the points, this point, right? Y1 is this point, Y coordinate. M is gradient. X is X. X1 is this coordinate. 4. Y minus 1 equals to 2x minus 8. 2x, y equals to 2x plus, so this minus goes as a +1, right? So -7. So this is our answer for part B, right? Part B. I hope you understand the idea. Okay, 4-1, we found this one. I'm cleaning this part to remove confusions. Okay, we found this part also. Okay, let me check my answer here. Yes, correct. Okay. The equation xy is this one, xy, which is this line. So we are given the equation, which is y equals to 2 minus x. And the equation of yz, xy is this one, and the equation of yz is this yz, which is this line, right? Okay. So far so good, right? Find the coordinate of x. Okay. So if we solve these equations together, we're gonna find this y point, right? Not x, but they're asking to find which is x point. So we need to find this purple point x, right? Okay, what we can do right now, find the coordinate of x. So we know this equation. Did we find xz? Yes, we found this equation, right? So guys, what we can do, we can use this equation and the intersection point should be x, right? This line and this line intersection point is x, you see. Why they give us yz? Maybe try to trick you a bit, right? But if you solve them together, you're gonna find y value, not the x value, right? So with your answer, which is this one, so what is the equation of xy? Xy is 2 minus x. Equation of xz is this one, right? 2x minus 7. And y equals to this y. If we solve them together, we're gonna find coordinates of x, right? So basically this equals to this because they both equal to y, right? Okay, 2 minus x equals to 2x minus 7, sorry, 2x minus 7. Send this one x, send this x here, 3x, and send this minus 7 here as a plus 7, so this is gonna be 9, right? X equals to 3. What is the y coordinate? You just need to substitute x3, one of these equations, you're gonna find same answer. You can put here or put here. I'm gonna put it here. 2 minus 3 equals to minus 1, so y is minus 1, right? Just substitute x value to one of these equations. Okay, this is part C. So the important part here we didn't solve this one and this one together. We solved xy and yz together because they are asking x. Okay, the coordinate y are this one and coordinate of z is this one. I will remove this part quickly. The coordinate of y is minus 1, 3. And coordinates of z are 7, 7. I like writing here because it makes me more clear to see it. Okay. Determine the exact length of yz. Length of yz. So distance between here to here. So you're gonna use distance formula in our formula booklet. Maybe you remember this formula, but this is the distance formula, right? Okay. So basically distance formula, t equals to square root of their difference. Okay, what is the x difference? 7 minus minus 1, 8 units, right? 8 units between them. Plus 4 minus 3, so 7 minus 3, 4. 4 squared is gonna be square root of 80. You can keep it like that, okay? Okay, this is the this part. Given that the exact length of xy is this one, xy square root of 32. Okay, and we found the exact length of this one also, the previous question, square root of 80. Find the size x, y, z, x, y, z, angle x, y, z, which is this angle then. Let's say here is alpha, right? So we can apply cosine rule, but we don't know this part, right? So let's find this one also. Let's find the distance between them. So we know the x coordinate because we already found it. It's here, right? Let's find xz first. Xz difference d equals to 7 minus 3, right? 4 squared plus this minus this, 8 squared. Again, it's gonna be square root of 80, right? So we found this one, 80. Now we can apply cosine rule and numerical solve, or you can just apply the angle rule, doesn't matter, cosine. But let's apply the cosine rule. Square of this one, right, 80 equals to square of this one plus square of this one minus 2 times this times the other one times cosine alpha, right? I couldn't write correctly, but okay. 1 second. Okay, times cosine alpha. This is cosine rule. You can check the rule in formula booklet. And if you don't know, please study cosine rule. It should be trigonometry, right? Yep. Or you can just use this angle formula, okay? I use this one right now. Then I will use numerical solve for this one, okay? For this thing, this equation, I'm gonna use numerical solve. And our calculator should be degree mode because we are finding a degree, right? Okay, so let's copy this thing to our calculator. We need to go to calculate degree. If it's not, click here and change it. Menu, algebra, numerical solve, right? 80 equals to 80 plus 32 minus 2 times square root of 80 times square root of 32 times cosine alpha. Alpha. I'm gonna say x, comma, x. Right. 71 degree, am I correct? Yes. 71.6 in 3 significant figures, right? So let's go back to 71.6. Okay, degree. Hence find the area of XYZ triangle. So we need to use sine rule. We have a triangle here, something like that. And we know this angle. And we know this is 80, right? This is, right? We know this 80, square root of 80, 32. So area equals to 1 over 2 times this times this. Sine 71.6. And this is the sine area rule, which is this one. Okay, so 1 over 2 times, let's bring that calculator. Area equals to control division 1 over 2 times 80 square root of 80 times square root of 32, right, times sine 71.6. Let's say control enter. 2400. So 24 units, right? Okay, 24. It's kilometers, so kilometers square. Okay, 24 kilometers square. Okay, we did this question. A town planner believes that the larger the area of the Voronezh cell XYZ, so this area will be larger, let's say, okay, more people will shop at the supermarket D. State one criticism of this interpretation. Okay. So when this area gets bigger and bigger, more people will come to supermarket, right? Okay, how we can make sure that? Maybe these are forests, right? There are no people here, right? For example, maybe mountains, maybe forest, maybe rural areas. Maybe there are no people here. So if it gets bigger, the number of people coming here will not change, for example, right? So it means bigger, so G, bigger area does not mean more people, right? That's our interpretation. Okay, let's look at question number 4. Let's look at question number 4. Okay, we have a Ferris wheel, and this is given, right? The height of the Ferris wheel, and there's a platform here, it's 2.7 meters, right? Please read the question before watching the video, right? So a chair starts from the lowest point, so we are starting from here and goes like that. And a Ferris wheel makes 1.5 revolution per minute. 1.5 revolution in 60 seconds. So let's find one revolution. One revolution, x seconds, direct ratio, this over this equals to this over this, right? So 1.5 over 1 equals to 60 over x. So if you do cross product here, 60 equals to 1.5 times x. X equals to 40. So this is one revolution, right? One revolution, 40 minutes. Let's try to find these points, important points. At time 0, when t equals to 0, it's here. So since it's 40 seconds, so let's divide by 4. Let's find this, and find this, right? So after 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, right? So t equals to 10, it's here. T equals to 20, it's here. T equals to 30, it's here. And t equals to 40 is here again. Okay. The height of a chair above the ground is h measured in meters. Okay. So this is our cosine function. First of all, you need to find what cosine function looks like, right? Cosine looks like that, but this is minus cosine, so we reflect with respect to x, right? It goes like that. Let's try to, so it should be something like that, right? So let's try to sketch the graph of it, because it will help us. Since we don't have negative here, I will not go to negative values. So if you are sketching a trigonometric function graph, always divide by 4, right? This time interval. So time 0, time 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and 40 seconds. And at the time 0, we start from which height? This is time in seconds, this is h. At the time 0, we start from here, which is how many meters above the ground? 2.7. So we start from 2.7. After 10 seconds, we go to here, which is the half of it, right? Half of this one plus 2.7. Half of 61 is 30.9 plus the platform height, right? 30.9 plus 2.7, it's gonna be 33.6. So it's gonna be here after 10 seconds. After 20 seconds, platform plus 2.7. So this plus this, right? The height, which is 64.5. Let me make it longer. 64.5. 20 seconds, it's gonna be here. Then after 30 seconds, the same height with the T10, right? T10 is here, so same height. Then time 40 is gonna go to starting point again, right? So if you connect the points, this is our graph, right? And so remember, if you are given a trigonometric function, so this is principal axis, which is the mid of this one, right? So you can see principal axis here, which is D, 33.6. And remember that this is the amplitude, right? Amplitude. So what is the amplitude? Always positive here. Don't look at the sign. Sign is just changing the shape, right? Amplitude, which is this one, right? 64.5 minus this equals to half 30 point. It's going to be 30.9. So this is A. Okay, half of it. Now B, what is the period? Period, it's 40, right? 40 seconds. How we can find period from here? There's a formula in the formula booklet. 360 over B equals to period. And our period is 40, so I'm gonna substitute 40 here. So 360 over B is 40, so B equals to 9. You can solve it by numerical solve, right? This over 9 is 40. So B is 9. So we found A, B, C. A ride on a Ferris wheel lasts 12 minutes in total. So a ride will take 12 minutes. Calculate the number of revolutions of the Ferris wheel per ride. Okay, how many revolutions we will have, right? So, one revolution, I'm solving part B, 40 seconds. So, 12 minutes, how many revolutions? In 12, let me change it to seconds, right? Like that. Okay, so let's do direct ratio again, or one revolution 40 seconds. So I need to divide this by 40, right? So how to find revolutions? Okay, let's do it. Or 40. This is gone, right? 18 revolutions per ride. One revolution 40 seconds. Okay, so 18 revolution 12 minutes. For exactly one ride on a Ferris wheel, suggest an appropriate domain for HT, height. So domain is the x values, right, guys? X values. So we start from 0, and per ride is gonna 18 revolutions, right? How many seconds it's gonna be? It's gonna be this seconds, right? 12 times 60, which is 720, as far as I know, yeah. 720 seconds. So domain is x values. It can start from 0, t, to 720, right? This is t value. Domain, y values. So it's gonna be repeating again, right? So y values, we just need to write maximum and minimum. So h, minimum 2.7, maximum 64.4, 5. So this is our domain, right? Y values. Remember domain and range. Domain x values, range y values. Since they say per ride, 12 minutes is gonna take, not 40, right? 12 minutes. So 12 minutes means 0 to 720 seconds, right? That's this. They are not asking domain for one revolution. They are asking for 18 revolutions, which is per ride. Number 4, a big text is meter a dole. Okay, we have a big text here, 16.7 meters long. By considering the graph of h, determine the length of time during the revolution of the Ferris wheel for which the chair is higher than the cowboy statue. So the chair should be from here to here, higher than the statue, right? Something. They are asking this time, right? During time, length of the time, how many minutes, how many seconds is more than this, right? How many seconds? Okay, basically, let's write our graph. HT equals to, what is our, so I'm gonna write this graph. What is A? 30.9 minus 30.9 cosine B is 9 plus D. I'm substituting these values here in the graph, plus 33.6. So I want this more than this, right? So more than this, 16.7. So how we can do this? We can do this by numerical solve, right? But we have 2 times. there is getting more than this. One here and one here. Let's find this one first. 16.7. If you look at our graph, 16.7 is somewhere here, right? And the other one should be somewhere here. Okay, so let's do numerical solve. Let's go to our calculator. Menu, let me show you. Menu, algebra, numerical solve, right? And let's write our equation here. I'm not going to write bigger than, I'm going to write equals to. Okay? So minus 30.9 cosine 90 plus, close the brackets, plus 33.6, right? And comma, so that one equals to 16.7. But there are two roots, right? I want to find the first thing, which is between this and this, between 10 and 20. So I'm gonna put comma t, then I will put my range here. I want to find the root between 10 and 20, right? 60, so 16, not 10, 20. 16 should be somewhere here, right? Somewhere here. So you can say, not time, 16 height is somewhere here. So you can say 0 to 20, right? 0 to 20. So comma 0, comma 20. Close the brackets, enter. So this is the time, 6 points, so it's somewhere here, right? 6.31596. T1 equals to let's find time 2, which is this one. So now for domain part, you can just write from 20 to 40, right? Second thing. So I'm gonna do Control Escape, and I will change these values to 20, 40. We are looking for this thing, right? Enter. 33.684. Then what we need to do, this minus this, because we needed to find the time length, right? Okay, so copy, paste here, minus our first value, 6.3159, six 27.39, right? So time equals to, so let's write here 27 okay, let's do it 3 significant figures, 27.4, right? 27.4. Let's go back to question. This is how do we do, right? There's a plan to recollate Texas Ferris wheel on a taller platform. So this platform will be taller platform, right? Will increase the maximum height of the Ferris wheel to this one. Maximum height should be this. This will change the value of one parameter A, B, C, D in part A. Which parameter will change? So guys, if it means that you need to take this one and go put it a bit up, right? So everything is the same except this line. So this line goes here. Which parameter is this one? The principal axis, which is D. Okay. Find the new value of the parameter identified in part EI. So let's find so what is our maximum point right now? 64.5. This is the initial height. What is the new height? 65.2. If we subtract them, right, we need to find this change platform height, right? How many platform height? So it's going to be 0.7, I believe. Now 0.7 meters longer platform, right? So this was old, 0. plus 0.7, this plus 0.7. 0.7. So 2.7 was the initial one, right? Plus 0.7. 3.4, I believe. Let me check. Of the new height, right? This is 3.4. What is our D value, guys? D value is initial platform plus amplitude, right? Initial platform plus the half of this one, which is, let me show you here, plus the amplitude of this one, which is this D. So it's going to be 30 plus amplitude, 30.9. It will be 34.3. Okay, this is our D parameter D. And that's the end of question number 4. Let's look at question number 5. A cafe makes X liters of coffee each morning. The cafe's profit each morning C. Okay, this is profit. Measured in dollars is modeled by the following equation, where K is a positive constant. So, okay. I think X the number of coffee sold. X liters, yes, and C is the profit. So how many liters of coffee and profit? Coffee. Find an expression dc dx in terms of x and k and x, which means this is the derivative, right? Derivative of expression. So let me bring an empty space here that we can solve. So we need to differentiate this function, right? Basically, how we can do it? Let's open the brackets first. C equals to x k squared over 10, right? Then x minus 3x cube over, okay, this and this and this and this, 3x squared x cube over this times this, 1000, right? This is our C. So let's differentiate it. First of all, what is the coefficient of x? This is the coefficient of x. This is the coefficient of x cube. These are coefficients, right? So basically you can separate them. I mean, k squared over 10 minus 3 over 1000 x cube, right? You can write like that. So let's differentiate it. dc dx equals to what's the differentiation rule? So there's x here, sorry, right? So if you see just x, this is the derivative of it, right? What is the derivative of 5x? Just 5. the coefficient. So the derivative of this one is just the coefficient of this one minus this 3 comes in front, right? Don't touch this coefficient. 3 over 1000 times this 3 comes in front, 3 times x to the power of, you need to decrease this power by 1, right? So x squared equals to, so let's rearrange it, k squared over 10 minus 9x squared over 1000. Okay, this is our dc dx, derivative of c with respect to x. That's the case. So let me write it here. Yeah. Case dc dx equals to k squared over 10 minus 9x squared over 1000, right? Okay, let me remove these ones. Let me clean this part because I'm gonna solve part B right now. Okay, part B. Hence, find the maximum value of C in terms of K. Give your answers in the form of pk cube, where P is the constant. Okay, so to find the maximum value of C, this thing, derivative, should be 0. Why? Imagine your function is something like that, right? And derivative is the gradient of the tangent. So we have this point, and gradient of the tangent is 0 at that point, at maximum point, right? So therefore this derivative is 0, gradient is 0 on maximum point. So let's make it equals to 0. Or 10 minus 9x squared over 1000 equals to 0. So we want to isolate k. Find them. We want to isolate x, right? Let's isolate x first. Then we need to put this x to our function, right? So let's put it. Let's do it. So k. Let's send this one to the other side. K squared over 10 equals to 9x squared over 1000, right? So let's take the square root of both sides, right? K over so this is 9. Why did I write over 9, right? Yes. Okay. Equals to 3x and 10, right? Before doing it, okay, let's make something here. Before doing all of them, let's do some simplification. Simplify this and this, right? So imagine that we multiply both sides by 10. Now it's better to take the square root, right? Okay, k equals to, there's just k left here, equals to 3x, right? 3x over, this goes out as a 10, right? Let's multiply both sides by 10, So 10k equals to 3x divided by 3, x equals to 10k over 3. But this is x. What they ask, maximum value of c in terms of k. So we need to substitute this value, x value, because this is x, to the function and to find the expression for the maximum value, right? So this value, I need to put this one to this function, right? Normal function to find maximum. Okay, let me do it here. Let me put empty space. Okay, so what is our function? X over 10. c equals to x over 10 k squared minus 3 over 100 x squared. Now when I see x, I need to put this value, right? So let's do it. It's a bit long question, I know. So 10k over 3 over 10, right? I replace this by k, 10k over 3. Okay. Then k squared is k squared. 3 over 100 times x squared. Let's take the square of this one. 100 squared over 9, right? 100k squared over 9. So this is our expression. Let's rearrange it. So if you divide two fractions, it's gonna be something like that. C equals to, first one remains the same, 10k over 3 multiplied by, this will flipped, right? 1 over 10 k squared minus, so this and this cancel each other, and this simplification. So what is left? This is 1 k squared over 3. And let's also simplify here. So k over 3 k squared over 3. Okay, this is our expression, maximum c in terms of k, right? K over 3 and k squared minus, yes, k over 3. This is our expression. Okay. Okay, let me remove this one. Let's move on with the question number B. Okay, we did part A. That's why it is 4 points. It's long because the coffee manager knows that the coffee makes profit of this much when 20 liters of coffee are made in the morning. So let's solve this one here. So this is profit, this is x. So you just need to substitute these values to the original function, right? So c equals to 426. I'm solving ci. 426 equals to x over 10, which is 20 over 10, k squared minus 3 over 100 x squared. So 20 squared, 20 times 20, 400, right? So we just need to find k in this example. So let's do this one. There's a 4 here, right? So this is 2. 426 equals to 2 k squared minus 3 times 4, 12, right? So then go to numerical solve and you can solve it, but I'm going to solve it by hand. If I divide both sides by 2, this is 213 k squared minus 12, right? So send this one to the other side. K squared equals to 225 equals a plus. So k equals to 15 or minus 15. We're going to take the positive value, right? Value of k. K is a positive constant. That's why we take k positive. Okay. We just substitute the values to the function itself. CII, use the model to find how much coffee that the cafe should make each morning to maximize its profit. Okay, so to maximize this profit, how much coffee we need to do it, right? So if you imagine what we need to do, sketch the graph and find the value, right? Find the x value that maximizes the profit. Okay, so if k is 15, I'm gonna sketch the function of 15 squared minus 3 over 100 x squared. So I'm gonna sketch this graph, right? I will replace this by 15. Okay. Let's bring out calculator and sketch it. So go to graph menu, then write this one, x over 10, control division, x over 10, then brackets, right, multiplied, brackets, 15 squared minus 3 over 100, so control division, 3 over 100 x squared. No. X squared. Is that this the last one? Yes. Close the brackets. Close the brackets. Okay, this is our graph, but we cannot see the whole graph, right? Menu, window, zoom. Let's zoom out a bit to find the maximum value. If you go a bit down, yeah, there's a maximum value here, right? How you can find this maximum value? Menu, analyze graph, and maximum. Lower bound, let's say we made 0 liters of coffee. Okay, and if you go here, upper bound, you can see maximum value here, right? 50. So let me choose here. 50 is the maximum. This is the profit. Y value is the profit. X value is the how much coffee you need to make to maximize this profit, right? So our answer should be X value, which is 50. X equals to 50. Sketch the graph of C against X, labeling the maximum point and the X intercepts with their coordinates. Okay, we just need to copy the graph that we just found here, right? So let's sketch the graph. Do it like that. This is C, this is X, profit, and how much coffee we need to do, right? Let's find the roots of the function, right? So we know maximum value. Let's find this root here. I'm not gonna go to negative values, right? Window zoom in a bit. I need to find this one and this one, right? That's it. Because more than this one, profit goes to negative. Here profit goes to negative, right? Menu, analyze graph, 0, choose before and after. So this is 0, 0. If you don't make coffee, profit is 0, right? So menu, analyze graph, 0. Let's find this one. 86.6. So let's show the graph of this part from 0 to 86.6, right? So let me copy the graph. We are starting from here. We have maximum value, goes like that, right? So this is 0, 0. And this is 86.6, comma 0. Because y value is 0 here, right? Y value is 0. This is our graph, actually. We can show maximum point also, right? It shows maximum point. Our maximum point was 50, 750. So this is our graph, right? Okay, let's go to question. This is part D. We have also part E. We cannot see it right now. The manager, let me take this one a bit down. The manager of the cafe wishes to serve as many customers as possible. Determine the maximum amount of coffee that the cafe can make that will not result in a loss of money. Loss of money means no profit, negative profit, right? Negative profit. So positive, 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 positive. Then up to here, this is the maximum. But after that, you will not make profit. You will basically negative profit, right? So this is the maximum without any negative profit, right? That's the question number 5. And this is the end of our paper solution. And I hope this video helps. See you guys. Bye.